This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
We start with sad news at 4. Bob Newhart is dead. The beloved actor is known for his droll, deadpan humor and considered one of history's greatest comedians. He starred in 2 popular sitcoms with his namesake, The Bob Newhart Show, and years later, Newhart. He finally won an Emmy Award in 2013 for his guest starring role on The Big Bang Theory. Newhart also had connections to Illinois. He was born in Oak Park and attended Loyola University of Chicago. Bob Newhart, dead at the age of 94. Also at 4, best friends are dead tonight, killed in a car crash on their way to a Cardinal game. Their families and a whole community now mourning the sudden deaths of these 2 young men. Good evening, I'm Kay Quinn. Brent Solomon is on assignment. 5 on your side's Megan Kernan joins us in studio after sitting down with their parents who talk about the special bond the 2 shared. Megan?
Okay, Tegan Kelly and Ashton Jackson were only 20 years old. They've been best friends since kindergarten, growing up in the Shiloh and Belleville area. Their parents tell us they were inseparable. They did everything together, and now they'll be together forever. Tegan and Ashton were on Highway 15 in Cahokia Heights Saturday night on their way to a Cardinals game. That's when police say Tegan crashed into another vehicle, veered off the road, and hit a light pole. Tegan later died at a nearby hospital, while Ashton was life-flighted to a St. Louis hospital, put on life support, and died Sunday night. Now, the 2 graduated from Belleville East High School together just 2 years ago. Tegan worked at Marco's Express in Swansea, where Ashton also used to work. The response to their deaths was so huge that the restaurant closed down for a few days after the accident to mourn their loss. This is what Tegan's parents shared about the 2.
As a parent, you don't expect this. You can't prepare for something like this.
They were a part of each other's daily routines, and they're 20 years old, and they never got off the boat without saying, "I love you." They just had a bond that couldn't be broken.
The 2 shared such a special bond that their families are holding their funeral services and celebration of life together. The Jacksons and Kellys say that's exactly how they would want it. Tonight at 6, we'll hear how Ashton was able to help save 2 lives through the gift of organ donation, something his mom says he's always wanted to do. Kay?
All right, thank you, Megan. A sheriff's deputy in central Illinois faces murder charges in the death of a black woman. Prosecutors say he fatally shot Sonia Massey in the face after she called 911 about an intruder. Sangamon County Deputy Sean Grayson is now in custody without bond. The shooting happened earlier this month in Springfield. The state's attorney says a review of body camera video doesn't support the use of deadly force. Grayson has been fired from the force. We looked into his background and found he had been charged twice with DUI in Macoupin County. Court records indicate he pleaded guilty both times. Grayson has worked for 6 different law enforcement agencies in Illinois since 2020. Flags are flying at half-staff today to honor a fallen firefighter from Afton. Last week, Captain James Kova died at the firehouse after making several emergency calls. Today, loved ones and firefighters from all across the state honored his life. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski is live in Afton, where a massive procession led him to his final resting place. Laura?
Okay, there were dozens and dozens of emergency vehicles that led him through Afton to the cemetery here. And this is where Captain James Kova took his last ride on the truck he rode every day, Afton Ladder 1124. Captain Kova was 54 years old, a devoted father and husband, and lastly, firefighter. He was a hero taken too soon. His fellow firefighters say he was the calm in the storm, loved to laugh, and cared deeply about the community he served. One Afton woman who showed up to watch the procession down Gravois says she owes her life to the Afton Fire Department and is heartbroken after Kova's passing.
10 years ago, I was dying of pneumonia, and if it wasn't for the Afton Fire Department and paramedics getting me to the hospital in time, I might have not made it. So I appreciate everything they do and all their service.
Kova's team says he'll never be forgotten, and they will continue to serve the community he loves so much. He leaves behind a wife and 2 daughters. Reporting live in Afton, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
All right, thank you, Laura. Check out this scene. We have a story about the Poplar Street Bridge coming up. Here it is. Police say a tractor trailer hit the median, fell onto its side, leaving the trailer hanging over the ramp. Happened around 11 this morning on the on-ramp from northbound 5544 to the bridge. The driver of the truck was not seriously injured. Mild and sunny, a gorgeous day. Doesn't even seem like mid-July. Here's a live look at City Park. Meteorologist Gary Frank is here with the weather impact forecast.
Yeah, keep having to check the date, Kay. Hard to believe that this is July, especially on what we have seen so far this year and the amount of rain that we've dealt with as of recent, the last 2 to 3 weeks. Now, right now, there are some very fair weather clouds with a northeast breeze. You look throughout the entire country, basically, and that same slow-moving front still in the entire southeastern United States, but look how clear it is from the Great Lakes all the way down to the south, even as close as Memphis. It is hardly a cloud in the sky other than these fair weather clouds which develop each afternoon. But that 81-degree temperature is the highest we've reached so far. We've got a northeast breeze at 7 miles an hour. It's very pleasant into this evening. Not much of a change, around 70 by 11, but it just doesn't feel like July. We'll struggle to reach 90. There's a tricky forecast next week because of the way things set up. We'll talk about our chances for rain and what the rest of the weekend shapes up.
See you in a few minutes. Thank you, Gary. Tonight, it's the RNC grand finale as Donald Trump will formally accept his party's nomination. The night will cap off an extraordinary week in politics, including President Biden's diagnosis of COVID and more pressure for him to step aside. NBC's Alice Barr is in Milwaukee watching it all unfold.
The final night of the Republican National Convention, building to former President Trump's big speech at a pivotal moment in history. The former president will take the stage just 5 days after the attempted assassination, against a backdrop of strong party unity.
It's just such an honor to be on the ticket with him. It's such an honor to stand with him after what happened last Saturday.
While Democrats are in turmoil, with President Biden isolating with what the White House is calling a mild case of COVID. Sources close to the president tell NBC News Biden world is bracing for the possibility that he may drop out of the race amid heightened pressure from top Democrats and cratering fundraising. The Washington Post and the Associated Press now reporting that former President Obama has privately told allies the president needs to seriously consider whether he can win.
There are no plans being made to replace President Biden on the ballot, and President Biden is cognizant this is a margin of error race.
That as CNN is citing multiple sources in reporting that former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi privately told Mr. Biden polling shows he cannot beat Donald Trump and that the president could keep Democrats from winning the House. While President Biden is publicly forging ahead, Trump allies insist he can beat anyone Democrats put up.
We're at a time of very divisive politics. Do you believe that Donald Trump can unify not just the party but the country?
I do. You know, the common term of reaching across the aisle, I think he's learned a lot.
Tonight, the country will learn more about the former president's vision for another term in office.
Former First Lady Melania Trump, who has been largely absent from the campaign trail, will be here for the final night of the convention, along with the former president's daughter, Ivanka Trump. In Milwaukee, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is at the RNC. He'll have live reports tonight on 5 on Your Side at 5, 6, and 10. The basketball and pickleball courts are now open at Marquette Park in South St. Louis. The mayor joined other city leaders to cut the ribbon this morning. The brand new pickleball court and renovated basketball court were paid for with part of the city's remaining federal COVID funds. Still ahead, more troubles for Bud Light. How a boycott started more than a year ago is still affecting sales. And a setback for the Biden administration's student loan forgiveness plan.